I'm here, wet hair and all, because this is an important message. Lightworkers are stepping up to the plate. I am so excited to share this with you. We're going to talk about the future. Edgar Cayce made some predictions. I'm going to talk about that. We're going to talk about the supposed things that are going to be happening coming up here. April 4th, I think it is. Could be wrong. We had a big solar flare that just happened. I didn't notice anything. Did you even know that just happened here in March? Also, we have the major eclipse happening here shortly in April. Are you ready for that? People are saying it's an omen. We're going to talk about this. Edgar Cayce's predictions for most of the planet going underwater. We're going to talk about the probabilities of these, what has or not happened in his predictions, and why that is, and what's happening now. Let's go. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube. I am here to raise the frequency of the planet, one light being at a time. And I do that through what I call breakthrough fear. I'm teaching you to step through the fear. It's going to be there. It's part of the human experience. Don't fight it. I take my students straight into it. I said, when you go in there, you realize there's nothing here. It was just a thought, a belief. And I can walk through it. It doesn't attack me. It's not some separate entity. Fear is a belief based on programming of what you've been told. If you want to get a free webinar, I show you the steps to break through fear. Fear is limitations that hold you back. Fear is how we're operating when we're in density. And so when you're in fear and you're fearing the future, you're fearing what somebody told you, you have to believe it first to go into fear. First of all, I hope you'll subscribe. It really helps promote my word, my positive word, to get out there and let people know there is nothing to fear. Also, Digital Explorers, I'm creating programs. We're going to talk about today what's happening with Lightworkers and the solutions that are happening now. This is one of them. I'll share that with you. This is free. Solutions that are transforming the planet. We're actually taking the action. What does this mean? Well, in the past, we're meditating. We continue to stay in the hamster wheel, going to jobs that destroy the planet, voting, arguing, separation. We're staying in that matrix that a very small percentage want that, right? It controls us because that percentage, and I don't mean just the wealthy, there's a percentage on the planet that are very dense, so they like to control the material world. They don't really expand beyond it, but that's not you. You wouldn't be on my channel if you weren't wanting to expand, are expanding. Watch that word when you say, I'm awakened. Ask yourself if you really are. I know you're awakening. It's a process. It's not one space you go to. I want to talk about our future, and I want to talk about the fear. So Edgar Cayce predicted that Europe would be mostly underwater. Definitely Asia, Scandinavia would just be islands. Canada would, be, half of it would be missing. The West Coast would be islands of the United States. Of course, the whole East Coast here, and I'm sure Florida, would be completely underwater. Do you know that that is a prediction that was supposed to happen in 1998? Yeah, we're way past that. We're not even close to getting to that space. What happened? There is a probability where that happened. We're not in it. Why? We are going into consciousness. Now, this is going to sound a little crazy because you're going to say, and this is what humans do, it's this way or it's not. Oh, great, we got construction. Hopefully you can't hear that. It's this way or it's not. We're either underwater or we're not. Actually, there are unlimited realities. And depending on what you choose and focus and entangle with, you participate in physically and everything else in that reality. When the collective goes into a specific reality, then the collective of that frequency goes into that reality. There's a collective here on planet Earth that is underwater right now. That's not you and it's not me. I'm not moving from Florida. Now, a person who was sharing this information about the predictions of Cayce said, oh, I would never move to an East Coast city. That was when 9/11 was predicted by some people, saw something happen to a major city. Are you going to live your life like that? You're going to leave here someday. Why not live your life the way you want to instead of running out of fear from what might happen that hasn't? Did you know that Edgar Cayce was getting letters from people asking for solutions, cures, and he was very good at that. That was his expertise, actually. Predicting the future wasn't, because, again, you know how to heal yourself, and he can tell you how to do that. But the future is a choice. It's a moving target. Well, healing is also, but he could facilitate that. He was reading solutions, giving solutions to people that were already dead, and he didn't know it. Well, if he was connected to that realm, why didn't he know it? We put too much stock in what other people say and predictions, or these mediums and channelers who could be making this up. And if there was one reality, why don't they all say the same thing? They don't. They're saying stuff all over the board. What are you going to choose? You get to choose. So do you believe this person or this person? Why do you have to believe somebody else? You can create your own future. We are creating it. The Lightworkers are stepping up. Now, Digital Explorers, I decided if people are so miserable in their jobs and their frequency is coming down and they're sick and they can't stand it and they're going to make money just to pay their bills in doing something that's destructive, why not give them an option of doing something amazing? Why not create something where we're actually changing the planet? They're happy, they're in passion, they're helping other people, they're not polluting the planet, and we create a whole business platform that's so the opposite of how we've been functioning. That thing your parents told you shouldn't go do, you can't be an artist for a living, or you can't do that. You can't be a cowboy for a living. The heck you can. I'll show you how you can. Why? Because we have no limits. There are people stepping into the light. The Lightworkers are stepping in to the light I'm shining for breakthrough fear, saying, I'm tired of living in fear. I'm tired of living in this space where everybody else is a problem, where my past is an issue and I carry it with me. You don't have to carry anything. It's a part of your energy field. All your experiences are a part of your energy field. But here's what I want you to know most of all about that, is that you can change the frequency of the experience. All right, are you ready for this? You can change the frequency of the experience. How do we do that? We see it differently. I don't see parents who hated me, who were jackasses. I see parents who thought they were doing the right thing, or I see parents that were angry and not loved and in fear. So they projected that on me. And so I see it differently. Now I go into compassion. So now that negative energy field of being victim and blame, I'm now going into a positive, purposeful viewpoint and saying, wow, I can break the chain. And I always tell people, you are here to break the chain of the suffering and the pain. The Lightworkers are stepping up, and they're realizing we are different. We're going to sound different. People are going to want to discourage us and tell us, you can't do that, that's woo-woo. You need to look at what's really going on out there. And I'm saying, no, I'm creating what's going on out there. I'm creating that. And you're creating that too. So you could live in the same world with me and going to hell in the handbasket, and I can see a golden era coming in, which is what's happening right now. If you read my book, the tipping point is in there, and it explains that we're in it. In other words, we hit that unconsciousness state, and now we have chosen consciousness. People are going into the tipping point, and they're realizing how much of everything we've been seeing are lies and a creation of things that are in the material world just to control us. Now here's what I want to ask you right now. What are you going to choose? Because it is absolutely go time. It's go time. Put on your seatbelt, because you're going to have many choices here, and you could live an amazing life. Abundance. There is no lack out there. It's just not distributed in the way it should, because people are living in fear. So they hoard, they go to grocery stores and they take stuff for me and my family. It should never be that way if we want to live in a world of just great giving and joy and compassion and love, learning and happiness. Pure joy is the sharing, distribution. It feels really good. And you'll never starve, I promise you that. We're going to go into a simpler life. We're going to see a lot of lack. Appears to be lack that isn't. It's learning how to live in the simple life that is healthier for us. So what we're used to is excess that has created the imbalance. And so now we're going to go back into balance of not over farming, overdoing whatever to our properties and our animals. And we're going to start to learn how to actually, even at some point, not have to eat food. I don't know if that'll happen our time, but I do know some people who are at that level, okay? And other planets, they don't eat food because food is a transfer of energy into a material item that then we consume the energy. They're just getting the energy directly from whatever is in their atmosphere, whatever they gain. We have that, we have the sun, we have all kinds of nutrients. We actually don't have to eat, but we're built as eaters right now. You do what's best for you. And if you feel good and right about it, but make sure you do your homework. Am I destroying a planet or animal in a negative way with this product or food product? Is there another way for me to consume that where it's treated kindly and properly with respect and without pain and torture, right? And that includes plants too. I'm a vegetarian. I do eat fish once in a while. I'm finding it very difficult to do that, to be honest with you. It's getting tougher for me to do that. I'm so connected to the energy fields out there of what is alive. And so I'm having a problem eating something that I saw swimming around happily. And so, again, that's a personal choice. We are not here to shame anybody. Do not go into the shame and blame and pointing fingers. Be the light worker. Step into the solutions. Now, I gave you guys a solution here. Breakthrough fear. It is a step-by-step process. I do have master classes. I do have a full-blown training system. It's unlimited that you go in, and it's 5-star, and we've had miracles happen. People have transformed their lives in 30, 60 days. You may take a little bit longer, but I'm giving you a solution. Digital Explorers, it's either up here or down below in the description, is passion, purpose, and positive impact. That's how we create businesses. We don't think about the money. That's actually the last step. We pick everything that's right and amazing for you, that's going to bring joy in your heart and make a difference on the planet and to others. And then I show you how to make money doing it. And we create real businesses, not just this, I'm going to run around like Mother Teresa and everything's wonderful. No, we're going to structure it. Well, she ran a business. She did a really good job too. So what are we going to do? We are now the change makers stepping up to the plate, and that's what's going to rule the world, because people are going to want to participate in what we're offering, not the other stuff that they feel really bad about. If you give people a choice, they will make the choice. Are you ready to make the choice? If you're going to be a light worker, you have to step in to the solution, and no more separation, no more blame, no more looking at each other's cultures and skin colors and education, name it. The diversity is what makes us beautiful, and everybody brings something to the table. And if you want everybody to be an automaton and act the way you do and think the way you do, you better get off the planet, okay? Oops, spiritual butt kick. None of these predictions have to come true. Now, the closer we get to those dates, the more we'll find out. It didn't even come close to any. We're still not even close to what Cayce predicted. It's not going to happen in our lifetime, unless we had something coming out of space to, that hits us. And again, that's a choice of a final chapter here. That's what we decide. Nothing just happens randomly. Nothing's random. The one doesn't make mistakes. Nothing's wrong. The one is doing it, making choices and experiencing things. It's never a mistake. It's an opportunity and a teacher for you. It's an opportunity. What's my reaction to this? That's the only thing that's important. What am I going to do with this or for this or to this? That is what everything's about. Are you ready for that? We're in it right now. We're deep into it. In the next 2 years, you're going to see some major, major stuff happening. And then we're going to shift into something really, really beautiful. And other stuff's going to happen that's nasty, because darkness is going to fight Those who don't choose to raise their frequency are going to battle for a material world that they can never hang on to. So there you go in a nutshell. Our future is anything you want it to be, and it is an individual thing. You will participate in that which you create yourself. You will experience the collective, but it will not affect you because you're going to break through the fear. You're not going to allow it to control you. You'll see it, you view it, it almost becomes humorous. Yeah, it's almost funny that you don't dangle your feet over the bed after a scary movie. You're laughing at yourself, but you do it anyways. You pull your feet up or you sleep with the light on. You know there's no monster in the room. So we can create things if we want to, even though we know that it's not going to happen. There's my construction starting again. That's my signal to buzz out here. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. And to those of you who have commented about my hair, thank you so much. It is actually natural. So in a couple hours, this is going to be all curly and big. Yeah, I'm down here in Florida. It's an easy way for me to do my hair. That's it. Yeah, thank you. I'll see you in the next video. You guys are amazing. Thank you so much for supporting my channel. You can place these videos anywhere you want. Namaste. Be sure to check out my book, Breakthrough Fear, Your Spiritual Butt Kick, on Amazon. It will blow your mind. It talks about exactly how all of this works. You can find that link in the description.